The Power Play Post Show is on the air, covering minor league hockey since 2003, and now covering the Binghamton Black Bears with news, reactions, and in-depth interviews only heard here. And now, from the Box Studios in Kirkwood, New York, here are your hosts of the Power Play Post Show, Bob Howard and Taylor Welch.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Power Play Post Show. This is the show for October 26, 2025. This is season 15, episode number 14. And this is episode number 528 in the long-running podcast that is the Power Play Post Show. Hello, everyone. I am Bob Howard. She is
Taylor Welch.
And this, of course, is actually Sunday. We're recording this on Sunday. We both feel relatively better. We're not as sick as that we once were. I think I have this little nagging cough that I can't get rid of. And Taylor says she still sounds weird to herself, but that's just kind of normal for you, right? You always think you sound weird.
Oh, I feel like I sound pretty manly. I have like the whole phlegmy cough still, so it's just I feel like I sound nasally.
So you think most men sound phlegmy? That's
no,
all,
it's just
that's all I heard
when
out
a
of that.
female gets sick, I feel like I sound manly.
I'm just kidding. Taylor, before we get into the meat and potatoes, we talk about the games and everything. This team is 6-0. Is there anything really to complain about?
Not in my opinion. I mean, they've seemed pretty disciplined. I know, like last year, it seemed like we always put ourselves in the box at the wrong time, but I can't really say that even this year. We're the least penalized in our division, so I'm like, I feel like I can't complain about anything, honestly.
Now, when you pointed that out to me, I was pretty confident that was true, right? But then when I went to go look at the standings and I looked at the penalties, it's not even close. Like the next closest person to us has like 114 penalty minutes, and we're sitting at 75. It's pretty crazy how disciplined this team is this year, and you actually see it on the ice. When one team commits a penalty, a lot of times they'll try to goad the other team into taking a retaliatory penalty, right? And you can sit there and watch it, and our guys will look back and kind of smirk and then just skate away. And it's really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I for sure last night when Schultz kind of choke slammed Thompson to the ice, that he was going to, because he was mad. You could see it in Thompson. Like normally Thompson takes everything, like it doesn't get to him at all.
Cool, calm,
he just kind of skates away, no issue. But when he went to the ice, you could just see the look on his face, and I was like, something's going to happen. Yeah. And he didn't. He just got up and walked or skated away, and I was like, He's done it better than I ever could. That's for sure.
Well, let me ask you this question. We're talking about Saturday night's game at the arena. When you saw Schultz take down Thompson, now Thompson did go hard into the goaltender, Matt Lenz. Now, personally, I think he did lift his body up and he was trying not to run into him, even though he was heading really kind of directly for him and everything. Do you think that Schultz should have gotten a roughing penalty for the way he threw Thompson to the ice?
I do, just for the fact of the way he grabbed him around the neck. If he just kind of like, shoved him to the side, that's a typical thing to do, especially if you're a defensive man and somebody's on your goalie.
Right.
That's understandable. But the way that he wrapped around his neck and shoved him down to the ice, that was uncalled for, in my opinion.
Because it was a violent blow to go down to the ice because Thompson lost his footing completely and went down. Now, again, if somebody kind of just pushes you away and you fall down, not a big deal, right? That we see that in hockey all the time. It was the way he violently grabbed him above the shoulder and took him down. With that, I thought was like, wow, this is going to be a penalty. I think Schultz looked around like, oh crap, I'm going to get a penalty for that, and he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, Thompson went down hard. It's not like he just lost his footing and fell to the ice. He was slammed down, and I think that's where I saw the shift in his attitude, or maybe just the way that he, when he brought himself back up, like you could just tell, like he was frustrated.
He definitely was. But again, it was a great night for obviously Austin Thompson. He had 2 assists. He had his 100th goal. So that was very awesome. Tomer, if you're listening, congratulations again. I know I said it to you afterwards, but from the Power Play Post Show, pretty awesome feat. He's only 4 assists away from 100 assists, and technically only 4 points away from 200 points in his career. So he's got a couple more milestones to do over the next few weeks.
Yeah, and I'm sure it'll come sooner rather than later. I'm sure we'll start seeing some more posters made up of him, and everyone's going to get all excited in the arena, because that was the highlight for me, was, watching him get that goal, and then they immediately have the graphic up on the screen and just listening to the arena just erupt.
Oh yeah, EJ's got this stuff in the bag like well beforehand. Like he knows exactly what's going on. That's one of the great things about the Black Bears organization. They kind of know those things ahead of time. And yes, of course, I then also, I'll tell you guys a funny story. Tomer came over to see me while everybody was skating on the ice for the post-game skate. Came over to see me and Bob, one of the Redcoats. Bobby, if you're listening, hello. There's your little shout out. But Tomer came over and he was saying hello to us. And Tomer's one of the most personable guys on the team, without a doubt. All the guys were really good, honestly. He comes over and I said to him, I said, listen, congratulations. And I did not mean to try to jinx you by posting the little 99 goal thing. He goes, no, it's okay. He goes, I totally get what you were doing. He goes, I just told Vanessa, who's very close with him, I told Vanessa not to share it because it would jinx him. So it was just kind of funny how that worked out. But, great for him. Great for the organization. Another thing they can celebrate. And honestly, we've had a lot of things to celebrate over the last 2 years. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, we got 2 cups. What else would you like to celebrate?
Yeah, I got my new ring, the replica ring, which is pretty cool. It's smaller than the first one, which I like. I think EJ did a great job designing this, and I think it's just a little bit easier to think. And I think you said that it looked like a class ring.
Yeah, it did. It very much reminded me of a class ring from high school, and you said it felt more wearable.
Yes. This is more wearable than the first one. I think the first one is just really big. It's tall and it's bulky, and it's actually a little bit heavier, in my opinion. But they're great. Obviously they're keepsakes, and I've just got them sitting here in front of me, and it's sitting next to my Hall of Fame ring, which is pretty cool. So, cool ring, but. All right. The Power Play Post Show is available on all major podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Cast, YouTube, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Just search Power Play Post Show in your favorite app, and don't forget to subscribe. Join the conversation on Facebook. Search Power Play Post Show and become part of our community. We're at 997, folks. Come on. 3 more people. Find 3 more people and tell them about our group. Looking for everything Binghamton Hockey, search binghamtonhockey.net. Coming up on this episode of the Power Play Post Show from the Binghamton Black Bears, netminder, Wyatt Friedlander answers 6 more questions, which is pretty cool. So let's get into game 1 this weekend on Friday night.
Alrighty, so October 24th, 2025, in the Watertown Municipal Arena, we had Game 5 of the season, Binghamton Black Bears at Watertown Wolves. The first period, Scott Ramakers gave the Black Bears a 1-goal lead early, scoring his 2nd goal of the season at the 1-minute mark. The Black Bears kept the pressure on early with another goal scored from the blue line, this time by Jacob Shankar, scoring his first professional goal just 2:10 into the first period. After a smart play from C.J. Stubbs keeping the puck in the zone, he passed it to Ivan Bondarenko, who was able to get the puck past Brendan Colgan for the Black Bears' 3rd tally in the period at the 9:51 mark. The Black Bears take a 4-0 lead with Andrei Simonchuk in the box for interference. Gavin Yates scores the man-up goal with 7:10 left in the opening period. Watertown got on the board with 4:38 left to go in the first period with a Boston Bird goal after knocking in a rebound from Andrew Utoro shot to make it a 4-1. The Black Bears were not done scoring after a Dan Weber shot was tipped in by Emerson Emery just 29 seconds after the Wolves' first goal, making this a 5-1 game.
What an interesting period, Taylor. I don't think we had seen yet up until, game 5, them scoring 5 goals in one period. Yeah. So obviously that was very interesting because it's like, okay, obviously they're very dominant in this period, right? They're I think they just had everything going for them in the first period. Of course, Larry Bird's son, Boston Bird, because it's a basketball thing. Boston Celtics, Larry Bird. Anyway, he makes it, 4-1 before, we get it back with a Dan Weber shot that was really tipped in by Emerson Emery. And, all of a sudden it's 5-1. And I'm like, okay, they went up to one of the hardest places to play in this league, which is the Watertown Municipal Arena. And they tagged 5 goals in the first period.
Yeah. And I was a little bit surprised that they pulled Colgan.
Yes.
Obviously it worked, because we didn't score again, but part of me was shocked just because we don't really see that much on our team. In the past several years, we've seen it once,
right?
I think. Cause to me, I think he only had like the one pretty fluky goal where Yates shot it and it tipped off of Utoro's stick and went up and over him.
Yeah.
Which that's something that's hard to try to save when you can't really see it coming. But it is nice to kind of look at a goalie like Colgan, who he's pretty decent. I know a lot of people respect him, but just know that even he can have off nights and you can easily get goals on him. And, first period and 5 goals is almost unheard of anymore. So yeah, it was a great period.
It definitely was. Scratched in the game was Tyson Kirkby, Nick Swain. They're both on the injury reserve. I know Zach Sirota and Cam Zervone are dealing with something right now. Wyatt Friedlander and Cody Rumsey were the healthy scratches. Starters in this game, Tim Kim, Gavin Yates, Austin Thompson, Dan Weber, Dan Stone, Connor McAnanima. A great start for the Black Bears, scoring both of the first 2 goals from set plays from the circle and getting the puck to the blue line, seeing a defenseman and Jacob Sukar getting the goals, right? So I really did like the fact that those first 2 goals were stuff that they practice in practice. Winning off the face-off, getting it up to the blue line, maybe making one pass and then taking the shot. And both of those goals were things that they practice in practice all the time. I thought that was pretty awesome. The Wolves are getting shots on McAnanima in this period, but the Black Bears shots are just a lot more quality, grade A chances. The Boston Bird goal was a back and forth in front of C-Mac, and then Utoro shot, saw a rebound, hit the stick of Bird, who then put it past Connor as he was trying to get back over to Bird. So basically that tic-tac-toe, east to west type of passing. And then Bird was able to get a pass. Emerson Emery and Dan Weber get their first points of the season with the Emery tipped-in goal off of the Weber shot. This was the most goals, 5, as I explained earlier, in the single period for the season. The Black Bears, they did it a couple times last year. The Black Bears dominated the period in scoring, but the Wolves were able to get some pressure in the O-zone, generating 11 shots. But were those shots grade A opportunities like the Black Bears were? That's the question there. Power play opportunities, Binghamton was 1 for 2, and Watertown got no opportunities on the power play because the Black Bears did not take any penalties. Shots on goal, Binghamton 15, Watertown 11. Again, I think it was a great period to start up there in Watertown.
Yeah, it was definitely a fiery way to start the game up there in Watertown. I know kind of it's always, you want your team to get the first goal because it always seems like that sets the mood for the rest of the game.
Right.
So to get 5 in one period kind of, I think, made everybody very excited.
But what was interesting is that's not how the second period went. Let's talk about that.
The second period, the Wolves come out quickly, scoring their second goal of the game, just 14 seconds and an off the stick of Igor Flipoff, making this a 5-2 game. The Wolves then get another goal back with a Stephen Klink goal at the 8:11 mark. Just 49 seconds later, former Binghamton Black Bears forward Darian Benchich scored his second goal of the season against his former team to make this a 5-4 game.
Were you surprised with this period?
I was, very much so.
It's not what I expected when they came out of the first intermission because they did that all in the first 9 minutes, right? So Watertown scores those goals in the first 9 minutes, and it just was not what I expected to see.
Yeah, it was definitely a surprise, and it just kind of I don't know if maybe they went into the locker room after the end of the first period and were kind of taking a breather and thought they could come out and just play more defense than try to control the game, but it definitely didn't work out for him in the first couple minutes.
No, definitely not. After the third Watertown goal of the period, the Black Bears and the Wolves went scoreless till the end of the period. The Black Bears flat out did not play well in the period. At least in my opinion, they did. The effort was clearly there, but the execution of certain things were not present. Benchik now has 2 goals on the season, both against the Black Bears. I think he has 3 total. So I think he scored a goal somewhere else, but he did score twice now against his former team. Unlike the 3-0 win over Danbury last Saturday, where the Black Bears played a good balanced defensive game, they have not done that in this period. Okay. The Benchik goal was reviewed looking for goalie interference and was ruled by the referees as a good goal. I'm not sure if there was enough for them to disallow the goal. Do you remember that goal?
Is that the one where the one guy had come down on his stick? Was that one?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I remember discussing it and kind of talking about it. It's one of those things where you wish they want to go in your favor, but there wasn't
probably
really
enough.
You could say at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Power play opportunities in that period, 0 for 2 for Binghamton and 0 for 2 for the Watertown Wolves. Shots on goal, Binghamton 10, Watertown for 6, Binghamton 25, and Watertown 17. And then really the third period was, I don't know, I thought the best defensive period for the Black Bears, but there was no scoring.
Yeah, and neither team was able to get the puck in the back of the net in the third period, ending the for victory in Watertown.
All right. Andrei Semachek was tagged at the 3:10 mark into the period with elbowing, getting Mac Jansen up high. The referees actually reviewed the penalty, something new this season, to be in the same realm of the NHL to make sure they got the call right. Now, I'm sure you saw this. I'm sure a lot of people saw this and they were wondering, all right, they're reviewing a penalty. But what they were trying to do is review the what they could determine as the severity of the penalty, right? Whether or not it was going to be a 2-minute elbowing, which is what it ended up being, or maybe something more. Looking for possible intent to make sure that they get the penalty right from the beginning. This is something new that you're going to see in the league this year because there are a lot more. When you align yourself to more of the NHL rule book, you're going to review a few more things to make sure you get it right. Goals, obviously, number one. And then even penalties and offsides, things of that nature can be reviewed.
I think it's a great step for the league to make sure that they get calls right. I thought possibly give a double minor just for, depending on how hard the hit was or how bad. That's what I thought was going to come out of it, but they ended up just with the 2-minute minor.
Yeah, I agree. Scott Romerkers almost made it a 6-4 game as he came in deep and almost got the puck back past Lenz as Lenz was closing off the post. Just a couple moments later, Gavin Yates and Ivan Bodarenko almost got the Black Bears the insurance goal, but Lenz made another quality save. I would have to say that this weekend, Taylor, Lenz did play well when he was in there. Would you agree?
When he was in Watertown, I do think he played very well. I feel like it's got to be hard as a backup goalie to come in and take over, especially when you just watched your guy get 5 goals in the first period. I don't know how easy it is to kind of shake that off and just get right into the game and step right into it. So I'm sure coming in, it's got to be hard, but he definitely played an excellent game. Yeah,
he did. After he came in for Colgan, I thought he was very good. Black Bears take a timeout at the 9:13 mark of the third period as they were going onto the power play, likely give the power play unit one time to catch their breath. Again, the Black Bears power play up to that point, and they took the timeout, and I think part of it was give their guys some time to catch their breath and maybe get a little bit of energy before going out there. Because I think up to that point, and I've written about it a lot, I've talked about it a lot, I don't think the power play has been all that great until we got till Saturday night. Chase Tabari received a lewd and inappropriate gesture at the 12:25 mark after he got a slashing call as well. Cole believed he saw Cole Parenti on the Black Bears broadcast. He saw a bird flying in the arena. This will likely end in a suspension, and we can report right now he did get 2 games for the lewd gesture. And again, you flipping the ref off or anybody off, you're going to get this, and then you're going to suspend it. It's almost like you were asking for a day off.
Yeah, I definitely don't. I understand being upset in the heat of the moment kind of a thing, but you're playing a professional game, and you know that there are certain things that if you did them on the ice, you're going to be suspended.
Yeah, agreed. Jacob Shankar took a pretty devastating hip check late in the game, which did lead to a penalty to Ryan Gill for kneeing. Now, the way I saw it, because it wasn't in the arena, you weren't in the arena either, it looked like a hip check on the video, but it was low, so I'm not surprised it was called kneeing, because a referee with a different vantage point than what you and I had probably could see the kneeing actually taking place.
Right.
The Wolves pulled their netminder with 56 seconds left to go in the period. Timeout called by Watertown with 48 seconds left to go in the game. Didn't matter. Black Bears fended off the pressure at the end of the game, escaped with a 5-4 win, but get the 3 points on the road in Watertown. Now, it's also the second time they beat the Wolves 5-4. Obviously, the first time was game 1 of the season, and that was in the shootout. The Binghamton power play was 1 for 10 on the night, and they have scored a power play goal in every game, so they at least had 6 through the first 5 games. But they are not converting as much as they should be. Let's talk a little bit about the power play leading up till the end of Friday's game. What are your thoughts?
As far as, they aren't converting. You're not seeing as many goals as you would like or you would hope for being the power play. I do, however, think that they have good possession and good control of the puck.
Mm-hmm.
So if we could get that into, scoring more goals, which it's not like they aren't taking the shots on goal. If
they are,
if Stubbs could connect on half of his shots, they'd probably have way more power play goals than anybody else in the league at this point. But it just doesn't seem to be happening, and I kind of hope they get that worked out.
I agree, because I know Saturday was much better, but I feel like you have to have a string of a few more, because if you're going to get 10 opportunities or 9 opportunities or 8 opportunities, a team of this skill, Taylor, especially what we saw last year, you would expect them to score a lot more goals a man up. However, the penalty kill has looked good, and you've mentioned that to me multiple times.
Oh, I love the penalty kill. I absolutely love watching the penalty kill. They do a phenomenal job.
Yeah, no. Go ahead.
The penalty kill that I've enjoyed the most happened Saturday night, though. I will be honest there.
Yeah, no, we'll talk about that then when we get to that game. Power play opportunities, Binghamton was 0 for 6, and Watertown was 0 for nothing. Well, they had no opportunities. That's the really great thing about the Black Bears is they haven't been giving people a lot of opportunities. We've already talked about it. The penalties haven't been that much. Shots on goal, Binghamton 13, Watertown 3. Stifling defense in the third period, right? When you need the Black Bears to have a good... Now, they've had good third periods. Would you agree with me? The Black Bears have probably played better in the third period than in any of the other 2 periods so far this season.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty much the game. Why don't you go through and give us the highlights of the game?
So the Black Bears defeat the Wolves in Watertown by a score of 5-4, in case you didn't already know that. Mm-hmm. Emerson Emery scored his first goal of the season. Jacob Shankar scored his first professional goal of his career and assisted on another one for a 2-point night. Gavin Yates scored his third goal of the season. It was his second goal on the power play. Scott Ramaker scored his second goal of the season. Ivan Bondarenko scored his third goal of the season and assisted on another for a 2-point night. CJ Stubbs assisted on 2 goals in the game for a 2-point night. Zachary Demare assisted on 2 goals in the game for a 2-point night. Connor McAnanama saved 18 out of 22 shots to win his 4th game of the season. Black Bears are now 5-0-0 and 14 points on the season and will stay in the first place in the Empire Division.
Yeah, so that was not okay. After the first period, that is not how I thought the game was going to end, right? You know, I even thought, I was like, okay, well, the way the Black Bears are scoring, you got 2 more periods. We could see double digits. We could see Watertown kind of falter. But that's the weird thing this year about Watertown, right? They only had a week to practice before they started the season. They didn't seem to have a lot of resources going on up there. Coachman is doing all the heavy lifting up there, has maybe one other person working in the office, and literally somehow they're in these games, Taylor. That's the weird thing about it. And even when they played against Port Huron, I believe it was out in Port Huron. I don't think they played those games in Watertown. They were in those games. That's the weird thing.
Yeah, and they even beat Port Huron in Port Huron.
Yeah. So it's like, it's just weird that we have such a dominant first period, and yet that's why you still have to play those minutes. You have to play those 40 minutes. And I'm not saying that the Black Bears haven't played a full 60 minutes, because I feel like the effort has been there. I just feel like some of the execution hasn't gone their way. I'll say it that way, right? And yeah, we've played Watertown 4 times now, which I'm already sick of them. I will say that. But they somehow have found a way to stay in these games against the Black Bears, even though the Black Bears are 6-0 or 5-0, and we'll be 6-0 when we're done with this episode.
Well, I think for Watertown, and I think this kind of goes to show that you really need to have a good group of guys who can work together. Because, yes, Watertown has kind of brought in a whole bunch of new guys, and they haven't had a lot of time to work together. But if you look at some of the guys that they've, gotten rid of, or guys that have moved on or gone to different teams, the dynamic in Watertown has changed so much, and I think it has helped them a lot.
That's the weird part. So weird. All right. Coming up next here no, it's weird. To me, that's not normal. All right, ship everybody away. Everybody's gone. Whole new crop of people. Oh, and we'll all just get along and it'll just work. I know their record isn't that great, right? After the first 6 games, they're 1-4-1, right? But for some reason, it feels like they're still in it somehow. I don't know why. Like more so than Danbury is, more so than maybe Indiana is. They just seem like they're more in it than even those 2 teams.
Well, because to me, Danbury doesn't seem like they're putting the effort in. Like Danbury doesn't seem like they are in the game to try to come out with a win. Where Watertown seems like they are in the game. They want to try to get the win. They're going to work for it.
Yeah, and we only got, 13 more games against them. Great. 2 of them at home and 11 up in Watertown. So, fun. All right, coming up next here on the Power Play Post Show, 6 more questions with Wyatt Friedlander. We'll be right back right after this.
Hi, this is Don Biggs from the 92-93 Binghamton Rangers.
Hi, this is Brandon Buczynski.
This is Grady Wittenberg, the voice of the Binghamton Senators, and you're listening to the Power Play Post Show.
Here is another Power Play Post Show interview exclusive with Bob Howard.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Power Play Post Show. 6 more questions with Wyatt Friedlander. Wyatt, you ready for these?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Perfect. All right. Number 1, who was the greatest influence on your hockey career?
Great question. I want to say Tuukka Rask.
Oh.
He came to Lake Placid when they were playing New York one time, and I was in the rink and got a stick from him, and I met him right before he got in his big bus to leave, and I asked him one thing, and it was what was it? It was how can I be a better goalie or something like that.
Yeah.
And all he said in return was, just stop the puck, kid.
I love it. That sounds like Tuukka Rask. If you had to ask me, that is amazing. And that little statement was enough to kind of just give you something to keep moving forward.
Definitely. Yeah. It kind of paved the way for me a little bit. Goaltending is a pretty simple job if you look at it at face value, and that's all you got to do is just stop the puck.
All right. Number 2, and we kind of already talked about this just a tiny bit, but what is your dream job outside of playing hockey?
My dream job would be probably golf YouTube. I watch golf YouTube like all the time, and I just love it, man. Like it just looks so fun. Filming videos and being on the golf course. I know Janny said this in the last one, but really anything to do with a golf course too would probably do it. But maybe running my own hockey camp could also be one of them. Yeah, no, absolutely. And you'll have to send me one of your favorite golf YouTubers out there. Whoever you think is the best, send them my way. Yeah. Send me a DM. Send me. I watch a lot of YouTube while I work during the day, and that'll be kind of fun because just to kind of see, somebody who really kind of makes a living off of it. Because a lot of people are nowadays, which is pretty cool. Yeah. All right. It's incredible. Number 3, which artist is on your Spotify playlist the most? Who do you listen to the most? I listen to a variety of music. I've been getting a little bit into Paramore. Oh, very cool. Yeah, I'd probably say Paramore. Nice. Very cool. And fans, if you don't know who Paramore is, you really got to go listen to them. A great sound, and very unique as well. So good stuff there. All right, number 4, who is the... Okay, now you got to imagine the commercials where they're like, this is the most interesting guy in the world, right? And I think it's for Dos Equis beer. But who's the most interesting guy in the locker room? Like, if you had to sit down and go, man, that guy is not just philosophical, he's also a good hockey player, but, who's the most interesting guy in the locker room? For me? Yeah. I want to say C-Mac. Just because, when you look at the guy, you don't know what he's thinking or what's going on. So it's like, I'm sitting there beside him and I'm looking at him during games and he's just like laser focused. Yeah. So he's definitely interesting for sure. And he's very, I hear he's very good on the sarcasticness, like being sarcastic and whatnot. At least I know when I've walked through the locker room, being, led through by Brooks Hill, the radio broadcaster, C-Mac's like, hey, what's he doing in here? Get him out of here, that kind of stuff. And he's got a very fun sense of humor as well. Yeah, he could definitely crack you up at any given moment, and he does it with a straight face too. So it's like you never know when he's going to spit something out. That's so funny. All right, your favorite candy or sweet? That's number 5. Favorite candy or sweets? I would go with probably like Skittles or Starbursts. Oh, see, that's one of my favorites right there. Starbursts and Skittles. When they put the lime in the Skittles, I was so turned off. I hated that, but then they took it out, and it's so much better now. But Starburst, I unfortunately can eat a full bag of those. I could too. I'd try to stay away from it. It'll mess the teeth up a little bit. I got a ton of cavities when I was a kid. Yeah, understand that 100%. 6. A zombie outbreak has happened and you're locked in an ice hockey arena. Who is the one person, dead or alive, fictional, non-fictional, that you'd like to have in there with you? Oh. And to let you know, Eggy at one point 2 years ago said Genghis Khan. Okay. That's how interesting Eggy can be, right? Yeah. That's a pretty crazy answer. It is. So can I say like Godzilla or something? You can say whoever. That'll keep me safe. You can say whoever you want. If you think Godzilla is going to save you,
If the zombie apocalypse happens, absolutely. I don't think there'll be much left of the ice hockey arena if Godzilla's in there with you. But
I'm gonna say Frozone would be a great pick.
All right, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. All right, well, that's it. You survived 6 more questions. Thank you so very much for doing this. It was a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And we'll be right back right after this, right here on the Power Play Post Show.
If you're a Binghamton hockey fan, then you need to check out binghamtonhockey.net for all your news, stats, information, the Binghamton Hockey Hall of Fame, top 10 lists, profiles, and so much more. That's binghamtonhockey.net. You're listening to the Power Play Post Show.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Power Play Post Show. That was Wyatt Friedlander and 6 more questions with him. Let's get into game 2. Let's get into Saturday night's game because obviously there was a lot of things in Saturday night's game that we can talk about.
All righty. So October 25th, 2025 at the Visions Veterans Memorial Arena, Game 6 of the season, Watertown Wolves at Binghamton Black Bears. The first period, the Wolves got the early start to the scoring with a Yefim Mishkin goal, just 5:42 in the first period as he beat first-time pro Dominic Tomei, putting the Wolves up 1-0. With the Wolves' goal scorer in the box for tripping, the Black Bears tied up the game with a Gavin Yates power play goal with 5:52 left to go in the period. The Black Bears then get a 2-1 lead as Yates scored his second goal of the game with 2:48 left to go in the first period.
Love it for Yates. Just going to say, just happy for him to be so productive this weekend. It was great. Scratches in the game were Tyson Kirkby, Nick Swain, Cam Clark, Zach Sirota, Connor McAnanama. Starters were Tim Kim, Gavin Yates, Austin Thompson, Dan Stone, Dan Weaver, and Dominic Tomei. Now, obviously, other than the goaltenders, that's basically the same as the night before. I think Brant Sherwood was probably happy with the majority of how those guys played in the game from Friday to Saturday. The Wolves get on the score sheet first with a nice snipe from Yefim. However, it was Yefim in the box for a tripping when Gavin Yates got that goal to tie the game. And then Gavin went into the box shortly after that. And I thought, well, this is where the Wolves are going to score again. But that's how it was. So funny how that worked out. This is now the 4th game against the Wolves, and we are seeing a Wolves team that can score on the Black Bears and get quality shots. Not all the time throughout the game, but they can do that. It's so interesting. Gavin Yates with 2 goals, a man on a mission to make sure that the Black Bears have the best chance to win with players injured and out. I want to talk about this for a second. It feels like to me that Gavin Yates, who has quietly been a leader on this team, and yeah, he's wearing the A last year. He wore the A this year. It feels like in the first 6 games of the season, after the first game when Tice went out, this became Gavin's team. Is that fair to say? Does that feel right to you that since Tyson has gone out, that it feels like, I know CJ Stubbs had the points lead and Gavin maybe hasn't scored as many goals, but it feels like to me, and I'm kind of curious on your opinion on this, that this became Gavin's team at this moment without Tyson in there.
I definitely agree with you on there because I feel like he's almost mirrored Tyson in the way that Tyson has played, especially within the last 2 seasons, where if Tyson needs to go out there and get a goal, he's going to go out there and do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if he's going to go out there and help, one of the younger guys, set him up for a scoring opportunity or, give him a pass to take the puck in, he does that as well. And we've seen Yates doing the same kind of thing where he might drop the puck back and leave it for Kim, or he might take the puck down in deep, but then pass it to Stubbs to give him a scoring opportunity.
Yeah.
So I feel like I definitely agree with you. And I feel like he's mirroring Tyson.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it just means that he's stepping up when the team really needs him, and that's awesome. Austin Thompson charged into the net, tried to stop before running into Matt Lenz, but was thrown down to the ice by Jake Schultz. Penalty, maybe. Interesting start to the game. Could this boil over? It really didn't. The Jake Schultz thing, I know you and I have talked about this. I just thought there was going to be a penalty there.
I think everybody else did too, or at least maybe they just wanted one.
Maybe.
I think after that is when you kind of saw the arena, every time Schultz touched the puck is when they started booing.
Yeah.
And that really happened after that. So I definitely think that everybody wanted something to happen out of that. And we just didn't get it.
Well, and we didn't get it, but do we really need it? Right. I mean, they have won 6 in a row. And I know every once in a while, and even Brand Sherwood has told me this, sometimes you have to stop and stand up for yourself, or a teammate has to stand up for you. Like when Zach Sirota was boarded, Jacob Shankar immediately went after the guy, dropped the gloves, and took him on. But in that case right there, I don't think there was anybody on the ice. Technically, I mean, I don't think Weaver was on the ice. Weaver would probably be the one guy that could probably go up to Schultz and go, all right, I'm going to drop the gloves and go toe-to-toe with you. Now, Schultz has a ton of fighting experience, and Weebs does not. Weebs has only fought like maybe twice, maybe 3 times in his career, maybe twice, right? Rick Weber, you probably know. If you're listening to this, please let me know how many times your son has fought, because I can't think of that many times that he's dropped the gloves. But he's at least a big enough guy to do it. I don't think I'd want one of the young rookies to go after Jake Schultz. It doesn't make any sense. And I don't know if you necessarily have to go after him. Like, there was no penalty called there on Schultz. So going after him and instigating something would have just played into what Watertown would want, and that's not a good thing either. So I guess it's good that they did nothing, but at some point you're eventually going to have to put someone up against Jake Schultz and stop him.
Yeah, I think for me, and this comes back to a fight that happened last year, I would put CJ Stubbs against it. Not that I want to, like, I don't want that to happen. Mm-hmm. But I think Stubbs could handle him.
You're remembering that one fight where Stubbs basically dominated the crap out of the guy in the corner where they leave the ice, where the Black Bears leave the ice. There was that one fight, and I can't remember who it was against, but he just destroyed the guy. And I don't think I saw CJ Stubbs that intense before. It was a great fight. I could see that. Again, I don't know if I would want it to be Stubbsy, just because he's so important to this team. So important. I can't wait till the next time I talk to Sherwood on air, and he's going to say, Bob, see, I told you, CJ Stubbs, important part of this team. Last year he was. CJ Stubbs was really a big part of the team. Like, you can't give an award to every single player on the ice, right? You can't give... but man, CJ Stubbs was that guy. It wasn't just Connor McAnanama. It wasn't just Tyson Kirkby last year. It wasn't just Don Oliveri, right? CJ Stubbs played a big, important role. So I don't know if I'd want him, but I understand what you're saying. I think he has it in him to probably beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, that he's like one of the only guys that I was like, I think he could go toe to toe with him pretty easily. I don't think Schultz wants it either, honestly. I don't think, because there's a lot of, still animosity between some of the players and him. And I don't think he wants to, do anything to hinder that even worse.
Or to make that worse,
at the same time, I don't think the Black Bears wanted to initiate, like as you said, like instigate anything or draw a penalty on themselves. I think it was more, and maybe that's why Thompson was frustrated, is I think they wanted the ref to make a call against Schultz, and it didn't happen. So they just, you take it and you skate away from it and just deal with it.
I got to be honest. I understand why Schultz pulled him away from the goaltender, because Austin did come in hard. I just don't like the way it went down. That's my big thing here is, if you're talking about safety of players, and yeah, Schultz was protecting his goaltender, but who is protecting Austin with the way he was ragdolled down to the ice, and in a dangerous way that, to me, a penalty should have been called. There should have been a roughing call, just as simple as that. Or I think you said it was a choke slam, so maybe he should have, gotten some sort of other, like holding the neck injury or penalty, something like that. I don't know. Either way, I just didn't like it. Power play opportunities in that period for Binghamton they were 1 for 4, and Watertown was 0 for 2. The penalty kill is just so good. Shots on goal, Binghamton 18, Watertown 5. Which period was it, Taylor, that they had the one penalty kill all down in the Watertown zone?
I know. I think it was.
You mentioned
it was either
the
first or the second, because I came up to you. It must have been the second.
Yeah.
I think it was the second, because I came up and talked to you afterwards because I sent you a message that I loved the penalty kill, and then I came up and talked to you about it.
I mean, it was so good. Like, I didn't even realize it was a penalty. It was a power play or penalty kill for the Black Bears. They were down in that zone, and you were talking, and you came up and you're like, "Wow, that penalty kill," and I'm like, "What?" And you were like, yeah, they had it down in the zone there. I just didn't even think about it, because who plays almost the full 2 minutes in, when you're on the power play, right? Like Watertown's on the power play, and they're playing in front of Matt Lenz, like most of that penalty. That's crazy. Crazy.
Well, if you watch, Lenz comes out to play the puck a lot, and that almost negatively affected him, because I think it was Stubbs was able to go down there a couple times and get the puck away from him and come around the net.
Yeah.
And Lenz was lucky he got back in time.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. All right, let's talk about the second period.
Second period, the Wolves tie the game up after a Dylan Gutierrez shot made it into the back of the net after a turnover in the neutral zone at the 5:54 mark of the middle period.
All right, the Black Bears have too many missed opportunities in this game through 35 minutes. They have been given the golden chance after golden chance and not been able to cash in. They're 6-0, Taylor. They have scored a power play in every single game. Right? 2 more coming up here in the third period. And yet, I still feel like there have been missed opportunities on the ice. Is it harsh of me to say that?
I don't think so, because I feel like if you asked anybody on the team, they would probably say the same thing. Even some of the fans, I mean, we've won every game so far, and yet we're still like, we're still not playing the best.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Tumay is a rookie playing in his first pro game, and at times has looked composed in the net, very composed in the net. And Dan Stone has been stellar in front of him. That's one of the guys you didn't talk about in your impact players, but I thought Dan Stone had a solid weekend all weekend.
Yeah, I had a very hard time choosing. I wrote a lot of notes. Dan Stone was in them. CJ Stubbs was in them. Even Jesse Anderson, because at one point, I think Schultz had a good chance, and Jesse kind of literally threw himself down to block the shot. Yeah. I always have a hard time narrowing it down to 3, but I think Tumay deserved to, get talked about his first game. And I will be the first to say I was nervous to see that he got the start, just because, Watertown has been doing relatively good against us. And the night before, it was a very close game. So I was going into this very nervous about having this rookie guy come in, but he played a phenomenal game and he deserved it.
I agree. And I had a few people, not just you, even bring it up to me like, really, to May tonight? And I was like, why not? There's got to be a time when you give him a start. There's got to be a time when you put him in the net and see what he's made of. And Brand Sherwood was like, okay, in front of the home crowd, let's do it here. Let's do it now. Now, Wyatt got his first start, I believe, on the road. But
it was in Watertown.
Yeah. So, but to me, obviously there, and he did good. The penalty kill right now is better than the power play through 6 games. The man up advantage has had a lot of chances, but not getting the results they should be. Let's see here. The power play has converted on in all 6 games, though it is not working all that well. This is where I really kind of delve into it in my notes. They are moving the puck around, keeping it in the zone, but the shots are not fooling the netminders and that they're playing against. The penalties at the end of the period to Stubbs for hooking and Jansen for holding was a breakdown, as the Wolves were just disruptive in the offensive zone. When you need goals, we're becoming snake bit a little bit. Those were untimely. Now, I said that leading up to the end of the second period. But Tomei was outstanding during the first part of the 5-on-3 at the end of the period. Again, the PK has been stellar. Power play opportunities 0 for 3, Watertown 0 for 4, shots on goal, Binghamton 15, Watertown 13. Totals at this point were Binghamton 33 and Watertown 18. But then the third period just kind of changed things.
The third period, in the third period, with Igor Flipoff in the box for roughing, CJ Stubbs scored his second goal of the season on the man advantage, giving the Black Bears a 3-2 lead just 2:53 into the period. Austin Thompson scored his 100th goal in his pro career, 10:37 into the third period, giving the Black Bears a 4-2 lead. With Darian Benchich in the box for slashing, the Black Bears scored their third power play goal of the game with the stick off Mac Jansen with 7:45 left in the final period, giving the Black Bears a 5-2 win, winning their sixth straight game.
Great third period. The third period on Friday night was all about defense and keeping Watertown at bay, and they only allowed 3 shots. In this game, the third period was great, and they scored 3 goals, 2 on the power play. I still think, and I want to mention this one more time, I think the third period has been the best period for the Black Bears so far this season.
Yeah, and I mean, this game definitely proved that. They kept the puck away from Watertown and didn't give them hardly any chances to get a shot on our new netminder.
Yeah, and which was great. Eventually, if you give this team enough power play opportunities, it has to start paying off. I know I've harped about it, especially in the second period notes, but the Black Bears were just not getting those shots on the power play. However, a good tic-tac-toe got Lenz off balance, and CJ was able to bang it through. I thought it was a beautiful, beautiful play. I believe that was down by your end. You probably got a good look at that.
I gotta think now, because
the CJ Stubbs power play goal.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy watching CJ Stubbs, especially when he actually does, get a goal, because he always gets a ton of shots. So watching the back and forth and him actually getting a goal, it's always a lot of fun, especially when it's down there. It's easier to see.
Yep. The Black Bears power play got another goal tonight with a Mac Jansen goal, putting them 3 for 9 at this point in the game, which is 33%. This was a good win with a sketchy second period as the Wolves found shots 13 times in the middle period. But the Black Bears took over in the third period again, like they have done multiple times this season. This is the Black Bears' best start to the season, 6 straight wins. They haven't done that before. Next weekend, Port Huron in Michigan. The Black Bears were 3 for 9 on the power play in the game, a vast improvement on the results of the power play has been good, but this shows the results, which is great. Power play opportunities in the third period, 2 for 2 for Binghamton, 0 for 1 for Watertown. Shots on goal, Binghamton 18, Watertown 4. Totals 51 for Binghamton and Watertown 22. I think Binghamton is going to average 50 shots this year. I really do. Happens more time than you would think. Taylor, let's put this all in a nutshell for everyone.
So it was a milestone night for Austin Thompson's 100th. Gavin scores 2 in a 5-2 win. Gavin Yates scored 2 goals, assisted on 2 others for a 4-point night. Austin Thompson scored his 100th goal in his pro career, also had 2 assists for a 3-point night. Ivan Bondarenko had 3 assists in tonight's game.
And could have been an impact player, right? Could have been.
Yeah. Mac Jansen scored 1 of the Black Bears' 3 power play goals. CJ Stubbs scored a power play goal in the game. Dominic Tomei in his pro debut saved 20 of 22 shots, earning his first pro win. The Black Bears have now won 6 straight games, have 17 points for first in the Empire Division. The Black Bears will now practice this upcoming week, getting ready for their first long road trip with 2 games against the Port Huron Prowlers in Michigan next Friday and Saturday.
All right, so let's give everybody a small preview of what we will be talking about on Thursday when it comes to the Port Huron Prowlers. What's Taylor's small little scouting report of the Port Huron Prowlers?
I mean, I wrote a lot of notes, so do you want me to save that for Thursday?
No. Well, you know what? Give us 3 notes that you definitely want us the fans to know before we get to our Thursday show?
In 6 games played for Port Huron, they have had 4 fights within the first minute of the game. So in 4 separate games, within the first minute, they've had at least 1 fight.
That's crazy.
In every game they have played, they have also had at least 1 fight. Most games, it's been at least, I think, 3 or more.
Wow.
So they've had 4 fights, 1 fight, 3, and so their average is about 3.
Okay.
3 fights per game.
Can you do me a favor? This is homework for you for next for our Thursday show as we preview what's going to happen against the Port Huron Prowlers. Can you kind of like do a little spreadsheet or however you want to do it, put it together? Who for the Port Huron Prowlers has fought and how many times?
Yeah, no problem.
It's only 6 games, right? So it should be not that hard. But I'm kind of curious. Let's get the fans, because most of the fans are going to be watching on YouTube, which is great. Brooks Hill will be out there for the call for the Black Bears, but it'll be interesting to see which players on the Prowlers have been fighting and how many times they fought. Because it sounds like they've already had more fights or probably about as many fights as we've had goals this year.
Yeah, for sure. They've definitely had a lot of fights. I've already gone through and I've written down the amount of penalties they've had per game.
Wow.
So just to give a little bit of an insight, they've had 164 penalties and 279 penalty minutes. And we've had, 75 penalty minutes?
Yeah. Yeah.
79, something like that?
75. Yeah, I think it is 75.
So they've had over 200 more penalty minutes.
That's nuts. How do you expect to win consistently? Now, of course, they have won, right? Because their record is what? What is their record?
It is 5-1-0.
They're 5-1-0. They're fighting in every single game, multiple times. They're tough. They're gritty. Let's be honest. That's who Port Huron is. They're tough. They're gritty. They play a very, very physical game. They try to forecheck. I don't think they forecheck as good as us because I don't think they get the results from their forecheck as we get. However, they're a tough, gritty team, which is crazy.
Yeah, I've definitely been keeping tabs, mostly because they're probably the best rivalry that we're going to have in our division. So I've been keeping tabs on it, but also we face them this upcoming weekend. So it'll be very interesting to see what comes out of this next weekend. And I hope that just basing off the last 6 games on how well we've been able to maintain and stay out of the box, that they go into this and don't fall for any of the antics.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really hoping that, listen, I want our players to stick up for themselves. When they get out to Michigan, if shenanigans happen and they have to fight back in a sense, I hope they do. I hope they take care of business in that sense. But just not to the degree that is going to play in the favor of Port Huron. That's the big thing.
Yeah, I definitely hope that if they choose to initiate things like that it hinders their ability to actually win the game.
All right. Thank you very much for that small little scouting report of Port Huron. We haven't seen them yet, and we'll get into it a lot more in our Thursday broadcast.
Yeah, no problem. I'll give you some more stats come Thursday.
Perfect. All right. The Power Play Post is available on all major podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Cast, YouTube, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Just search Power Play Post Show on your favorite app, and don't forget to subscribe. And before I go on, if you're still listening, Kristen, thank you very much for coming up and saying hello to me during the post-game skate. It was very nice to get to meet you. There's a picture on Facebook. Thank you very much for that. That was awesome. Miguel Katie, thank you for coming up and saying hi. And then there was another woman that came up, Taylor, and I didn't tell you about this. She was dressed head to toe. I have no idea what she was wearing. I have no idea who it was because she was in full face makeup. She even put duct tape on her skates for the costume. It was pretty intense. If you are listening to the show, please send me a message and tell me who you are so I know who it was. I honestly don't know. Her costume was so perfect. She probably could have got up to family members and they wouldn't know who she was. That's how awesome it was.
That's great.
With that being said, join the conversation on Facebook, search Power Play Post Show, and become a part of our community. We are at 997. Let's get it to 1,000. Looking for everything Binghamton Hockey, just visit binghamtonhockey.net. Thank you to Rob Lapolis, our MC, John Petitucci, our musical director, and from the Binghamton Black Bears, netminder Wyatt Friedlander for answering 6 more questions. I am Bob Howard. She is
Taylor Welch.
And we'll talk to you next time right here on the Power Play Post Show.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Power Play Post Show. Be sure to tune in next week to the Box Studios Radio Network for all the latest Black Bears news and interviews from around minor league hockey. The Power Play Post Show would like to thank John Patitucci for all the music you hear on the show. You've been listening to the Power Play Post Show.